potentially. First, though, Fabs, we do have some injury news to pass along in terms of actives and inactives.
Yeah, a lot of injury news here to get into the ears of our beloved dirtbags. Jordan Love, he's back. He will start against the Vikings, so you can put all of your Packers wide receivers into the lineup, Jaden Reed, etc. Although I think Reed's probably the most attractive guy by a mile. Russell Wilson's inactive, which we kind of knew. Justin Fields will start against the Colts. Justin Herbert is expected to play per Adam Schefter, but that game is not until later. And I believe Joe Alt is out. Like, his offensive line is a mess. If you've got the Chiefs defense, start them this week against the Chargers. The running backs, Alvin Kamara is active, thank goodness, but Joe Mixon is not, and neither is Damian Pierce, which means Cam Akers gets to start again. So he is going to be a flex starter, even if it's just a desperation flex starter. Rachaad White and Bucky Irving will both be active. Let's see how that backfield pans out today.
That's one to keep our eye on, yeah.
Bucky Irving may end up being the guy after today's game against the Eagles. Jalen Warren will not play, which means Najee Harris is a very strong play against the Colts. Austin Eckler, who I've texted with, he's feeling better, but he will not play today. All right, I dropped his name. It's fine. I'm just giving people an update.
You can't not. I know him. I know him.
But that's a later window game, but we know he's not going to play. Brian Robinson is in a smash spot. Wide receiver, there are a mess of wide receivers who are not playing today. And like, I am down to Greg Dortch, Michael Wilson, and Trey Tucker in one of my leagues. I don't know. Everybody's hurt. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, both inactive. Chris Olave is a go.
It could be worse, right? Like, at least you have Cardinals assets against the Commanders defense that you can plug in.
Yes.
So, like,
targeted those guys on the waiver wire. Yeah, and I had Wilson in that league. Deontay Johnson's going to be a go, so he's a startable asset with the red rifle under center. Keenan Allen's a go. Tank Dell, Lindsay, I know this makes you very sad. He is not playing. Gabe Davis is a go in that game. Devontae Adams doesn't play until the 4:00 window, but we already know he's out. So Jacoby Myers needs to be in lineups against the Browns. That game, both teams are a mess with injuries. Just a mess. And then Adam Schefter is also reporting that Deebo Samuel is expected to play today. So if you've got Juwan Jennings in your starting lineup, you may want to rethink that. It may be a one and done for Juwan Jennings in terms of having fantasy value. Lynn, do you want to go through the tight ends?
Yeah, so tight ends, we've got a few that are out. Trey McBride with his concussion. I had to go move him out of several lineups this morning, sadly. Evan Ingram also out against the Texans. Kittle is going to play. We're getting him back. Woohoo! Against the Patriots. That's an afternoon game. David Njoku is out. Michael Mayer is out. Nobody plays Michael Mayer anyway.
But here's the thing. But why that is important.
Okay.
Brock Bowers is going to get all the targets this week with with
Devontae
and no Mayer. I mean, even if it's an additional 2 targets or 3 targets, I mean, it all makes sense. Brock Bowers could be a top 5 tight end this week.
Trey is an interesting play there. I wonder how many questions we'll get about whether or not you should be playing him.
You know why? He was a top 10 wide receiver. The Raiders had 2 top 10 wide receivers last week, and neither one of them was Devontae Adams.
Well, but also the Raiders kind of suck. And so you figure in a lot of games, especially like if they were playing somebody different, they could be down, they could be throwing. He's a stretch the field guy. Like, that's kind of who he is as a wide receiver. And you like that in certain matchups against the Browns, though. Like, I mean, the Raiders are even missing Max Crosby. But hey, guess what? The Browns have done to even things out. They've taken both of their tackles out of the game. Like, what's happening in this game? It is a disaster. Take the under on that. I don't even know what the point total is off the top of my head, but like, whatever it is, it might not be able to be low enough. All right, let's get to some questions, because what we really want to do on this show and this time frame is answer the start sit dilemmas that you guys are experiencing. So let's kick things off with Sleek, who's joining us via YouTube, Full Point PPR, Tony Pollard or Chuba Hubbard. Let's start with that, and then we'll get to the wide receiver question.
I like both. I'm going Pollard, though, between the two.
Okay. Scary Terry, T. Higgins, or Olave?
If I've got to start one, Olave's a go. You know, I don't like that he got hurt on a Friday in practice, but it seems like he's fine, so I'm going to go with Olave.
Okay. Over T in that matchup against the Panthers, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Will Hicks, another Olave question.
Yeah,
folks,
we're going to get a lot.
if you can sit Tyreek, I'd do it. I mean, I'm not sitting Tyreek Hill for Demarcus Robinson, but like for Olave, yes, I would absolutely do that.
The insertion of Snoop Huntley into the lineup there, what does that potentially do? Because this is a guy who has had some success with the Ravens and now walks into an offense where like he has some mobility and also some very good wide receiver weapons. Like, do you think that maybe we need to reframe the way that we're thinking of the Dolphins assets this week as compared to last week?
Well, I tweeted this out yesterday. Like, it's definitely an upgrade. I mean, it's definitely an upgrade. Tyler Huntley's career stats, 64.6 completion percentage, 14.4 RPO percentage. His on-target throws, 71%. His ADOT, 8.4. Those are all way better than Skylar Thompson. So it is definitely an upgrade, but he's not Tua. So do I feel a little bit better about playing Tyreek? A little bit, but I still don't love it.
All right. Paul DeSantis, flex spot, half point PPR. We're looking at Jordan Addison. Half point PPR. We're looking at Addison, Keenan, Demarcus Robinson, or Bucky Irving. Let's start there, and then we'll get to the tight end part.
So I'm gonna go with Keenan Allen for the Bears. He's back today, and I'm probably gonna go with Jordan Addison against Green Bay, who's their defense is down Jay Alexander, so that's not good. And then also in terms of the tight end position, I'd probably go with Ertz there. That the Ravens tight end position is really hard to figure right now, and Ertz is getting targets.
Yeah. Well, and that offense is one that we want to target this week, right? Like that Commanders-Cardinals matchup is the one with the highest point total of the week. There are some ways that I think I kind of like the under in that one, but obviously the Commanders are going to have an opportunity to move the ball against that Cardinals defense. Okay. Blaine, thank you very much for joining us via YouTube. Again, just as a quick reminder, you guys can join us. This live stream there are links to it on Twitter. There are links on Facebook. There are links on YouTube. So a lot of people joining us via different avenues. He has a full point PPR question, and that's Bowers or Kittle.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I got to be honest with you. Blaine, I like both of them. I'm probably going to go with Bowers only because no Devontae, no Mayer, and Kittle's going to be competing for targets with Ayuk, and he's going to be competing with targets obviously with Debo, but both are very good plays. And listen, I would tell you to trade one of them. People out there are desperate for tight ends right now, like wicked desperate, as we would say in the Northeast. So I would try to trade one of those two guys.
Yeah, I think I agree with you for a bunch of different reasons, but also there's the Kittle first came back from an injury, right? Like, and so even though we're expecting that he's going to be fine and he's practiced and he's talked about how excited he is to get on the field, Bowers is going to be a big part of the game plan there. He just has to be, and he's also healthy. So there's that. Chalupa on X, Achan or Robinson Jr. standard league.
I gotta be honest with you. This is a close one. This is closer than it should be.
Yeah.
I'm going Brian Robinson Jr.
I think I am too. And I hate saying that. I don't even know.
I don't know how you can't start both though. Like I'm wondering why you can't start both. Like you must have some really good assets at running back, or maybe it's a flex situation. I mean, I would try to start both, but I like Brian Robinson. No Eckler. The Cardinals have given up the most fantasy points to visiting running backs since last year. I mean, like, it's a smash spot for him. And I don't see that being a negative game script either. I think both those teams are going to be battling it out. So I like Robinson Jr. better, but I'd try to play both if I could.
The Dolphins are going to be interesting to keep our eye on today, just in terms of like gathering information, right? Because this is a very different style of quarterback that they're plugging in there today. And so what does that do? What does that make defenses do to them? Like the whole thing kind of changes a little bit. And so we're going to get an idea of who it benefits and who it hurts. But I think I would go with Robinson Jr. too. And I would love to play both of them. PPR, Jacoby Myers or Pollard. And thank you so much for joining us. Satchmo 64?
We'll call him. I guess we can't call him Sack. Can we call him Satch? I don't know. Anyways, we appreciate you joining the live stream. Another real close one, especially with the PPR angle to it. I'm probably going Pollard, though. The Dolphins are bad against running backs. They're bad. Mm-hmm. Now, the one thing is that the Titans stink. Sorry, James Roday. Love to you all day long, but your team is garbage. So if they fall behind, you may see more Spears. But I'm going to go Pollard. It's close, though. It's really close.
Pollard, I played in one and done last week. So just rest assured that he has his worst game out of the way, because I have terrible luck with my team in that format. Bucky Irving or Rachaad White? This one's a fascinating question. If you have that either or, but because
if it's PPR, I got to go Rachaad White. I'm still sticking with him as the better of the two backs in PPR until I'm proven otherwise.
I just, remember he had food poisoning this week. He's a little bit banged up, and Bucky already took the lead in terms of the backfield opportunities. No, I understand that we're talking
injury report too. So, I mean,
okay.
Yeah, it's close. It's close.
We're at that point where like graphs like go in opposite directions. Like I kind of think they're going in opposite directions, but have they actually passed each other yet? This is how I do whatever.
It's getting close.
What is this girl doing? Amari Cooper or JSN?
I'm going Amari Cooper against the Raiders, but JSN is one of my favorite guys that if you need help, if AJ's on your team or Devontae's on your team, or you have Kupp or Puka or whoever it is that's not going to play, I love JSN, but I'm going to stick with Amari Cooper.
He gets a boost, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean start him over everybody. You still have to make
smart decisions
in terms of
if you've got guys who are hurt or maybe not performing up to snuff and you want to make a change, but I mean, Cooper's coming off a massive game.
The other thing I want to say about that too is that like that whole Lions give up a ton of points to the slot. It's the first two guys that they faced that were slot receivers that blew them up were also really high-end wide receivers that they're going to target
Cooper Kupp
anyway.
And Chris Godwin.
Exactly. Yeah. So then last week we go, hey, Dortch gets a bump, but like Dortch didn't really get a bump, And so you have to also factor in like how much of a part of the offense is this person regularly? And does it make sense to go to this person instead of the other people that we have? And so in this case, you still have DK, you still have Lockett, like just keep that in mind. I don't know that JSN's going to be like wide receiver 5 or anything like that this week, just because the matchup is good for him. Brian Ziegler from X need to start 2 of these 3.5 point PPR. We were looking at Ayuk, Deontay, or DJ Moore. I'm assuming that's DJ Moore. Is there another Moore?
So it definitely Deontay. We know Adam Thielen's not going to play. He's on the injured reserve now. So really the decision is between Ayuk and DJ Moore. And I don't like what I saw at practice between Shanahan and Ayuk with the shorts thing. Debo is expected back. Kittle's expected to be good to go. I know Keenan Allen comes back and that muddies the water for DJ Moore, but the Rams stink. So I'm going DJ Moore.
That's a tough one. I mean, it's hard to argue against DJ Moore, except for the fact that offense, but the Bears' offense has been so bad. And
DJ's
this
still
week
giving you decent numbers.
So their O-line was terrible last week, and then this week the only thing that I recall seeing about the O-line is like, same O-line. Yeah, they'll be back. Okay, I feel good. Okay. Saul, thank you very much for joining us. Ridley or Debo PPR?
I'm going Debo here. Again, Adam Schefter, Sal came out and said that Debo's expected to play. We've heard nothing about any kind of, restrictions in terms of his snaps. So I'm going to go with Debo. Real quick here, just from Jay Glazer, Cooper Kupp is going to miss at least the next 2 weeks. Thank you.
You didn't let me do the breaking news sound.
I'm sorry. I know because it's a live stream. I screwed up. It's my bad. I'm sorry. I've been up since like 6 o'clock. So I don't know why they didn't put him on the injured reserve list. That doesn't make any sense to me. And Jay's also saying that Puka's out at least another month. So bad news for the Rams and for fantasy managers.
It's unless you picked up any of these other wide receivers off the waiver wire and now they have more opportunity to hit for you. Like it's not going to be a 1 week thing.
I guess.
Yay.
And Puka Nacua was on my bus list, by the way. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
We were drafting him based on his ceiling season as a rookie that he came out of nowhere. I didn't think he was going to be hurt, but like, see what happens? Beware the magical season, Mrs. Rhodes. Christian McCaffrey, same thing.
I have a question. I have a question
Yeah.
before we get to the next one in the chat. Garrett Wilson. So Garrett Wilson, they are playing the Broncos. They are he's going to see a pretty big good cornerback in
he's going to get sauced today. Yeah.
So,
not in a good way.
What do you mean he's going to get sauced?
Sauced. Oh, I thought you were saying Cortland.
I'm talking about Garrett Wilson. No, I'm talking about Garrett Wilson. I'm talking about a high end.
I mixed them up.
They're both getting good corners, but I guess my point is I don't care about Cortland Sutton. Who's playing Cortland Sutton on purpose? I'm talking about Garrett, who people took at the end of the first round, who has a really, really tough matchup this week. Surtain had a ton of success against Mike Evans. I'm where are you ranking Garrett Wilson? Because I actually put him on my bench in one.
I got him at wide receiver 17, which is the lowest I've had him in 4 weeks. So you think that's too high, huh?
No, I mean, I just probably, I think that I mean, I understand why you're doing it because you have to kind of split the difference. Like he has the talent to hit.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he's going to see the ball that much. So I think I would probably rank him a little bit lower than that. And like I said, in a league where I have 3 spots where I could play him, I chose 3 other people and put him on my bench. Olave or Garrett Wilson?
Olave.
Okay, there you go. That's what I did.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the next question here. Producer Doug can find us another one. Let's see. Steve Guzman, Zach Moss, Terry McLaurin, Rome Odunze, or Jalen Waddle. It's not Jalen Waddle. I don't think it's Rome Odunze either. Zach Moss or Terry McLaurin for me.
Get your Zach attack on, my friend, Steve. Great matchup, smash spot against Carolina. He's the lead back. I don't know where the whole Chase Brown love came in the preseason where people were going bonkers for him. But I was very happy because I've got many shares of Zach Moss in the 9th and 10th round. Because
what about Terry? What about Terry in that whole back and forth?
I dig Terry too, but Moss is guaranteed the touches, and I don't see that game getting out of hand to the point where the Panthers are blowing out the Bengals. So it should be a pretty neutral game script.
Can I give you a couple of quick stats that are on my radar for the Commanders offense? Because what they did this past week in prime time was super exciting. We love what we saw. Jaden Daniels looks like he's going to be great. There are a few statistical anomalies from weeks 1 and 2 that were like very, very different than what we saw in weeks 1 and 2. First of all, the ADOT for Jaden Daniels, which was 8.7. Weeks 1 and 2 was 5.2 and 4.5. So is that just game specific, or have they now unleashed him and everything is different? Terry McLaurin's going to get the ball more frequently as a guy that has a longer ADOT there. The other thing is, was this game specific, or is this something we're going to see Terry McLaurin moving around a lot? Because that is a Cliff Kingsbury thing that he's done for a very long time, is lock down his number 1 wide receiver on the left side. Defenses always know where they are. Weeks 1, he was there 85% of the time. Week 2, he was there 82% of the time. Last week, 60% of the time. So is that an anomaly? And now Terry McLaurin is going to be moving around and that's good for us? Or are they going to go back to that for some reason? So just something to keep our eye on in terms of usage and how far Jaden Daniels throwing the ball in this game. Let's go to the next question here. Just keep them coming. As soon as we're done, you can pop up the next one. Evan, thank you very much for joining us. Gesicki or Ertz? And this is, yes, you're chucking darts. We're all chucking darts. The tight end position Evan. Is just a bunch of darts. Do they hit the board? I don't know.
I'm going to go with Ertz here again. Gesicki is kind of hit or miss. And now that T. Higgins is back and he's got his sea legs under him, I guess, after playing that first game last week. Sea legs, that's a term that, that means that like he came back and maybe he's back into getting closer to football shape. It's a bad analogy, but
are you explaining to us what sea legs means? I don't understand. Who's on this live stream?
You gave me a strange look. She's like, what the hell are you talking about, Fabiano? Are you drunk? I'm going Ertz here. By the way, we're getting people that are throwing some responses up. The fantasy manager who had Achane and Brian Robinson has Breece Hall too. And that's the reason why. And there's a guy answering questions on here called Thor's Hammer. He is not involved on Sports Illustrated, Thor. So keep your hammer and get out of here. We're taking the question now.
Oh, people are probably happy to get as much help as they possibly can. They need
Tootsie Pop. One.
Okay. Hi, Rach.
A 3.
Good morning.
What's up?
What? Demarcus Robinson, Greg Dortch, Jalen Naylor.
It's afternoon in the East Coast and out here, buddy. You ready? I'm going Dortch. I'm going Dortch.
I'm starting
also listen, the Commanders are awful against wide receivers.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even your boy Andre Josevich, the guy who looks like he belongs in a boy band, he had a good game last week. I'm going with Dortch. And Naylor's, now that Addison's going to play, he's kind of meh.
Yeah.
So he's not a startable asset, I don't think.
I mean, the Rams somebody's got to do it.
I know, but somebody had to do it last week, and it wasn't anybody. They're all kind of meh. So,
all right.
Meh means mid for the kids out there.
You know, like one kid. I don't know that you are the person that should be giving us.
I know my kid. I know both your kids. I know kids.
I have a gaggle of kids downstairs, and I've told them they're not allowed to play Fortnite until I get off of this because it interrupts with the internet, and they're just like sitting there like jonesing, like full-on addicts. Yeah. So sad. Hi, Jen 23. Standard format, so that means this one's for Fabs. Rome or Addison today?
Well, I mean, in standard, you're looking for who's more likely to get into the end zone. I'm going to go Rome Odunze against the Rams here. I think he's got a better shot at scoring a touchdown than Addison. Addison he hadn't played. And so I wonder if he needs to get his sea legs under him today. So I'm going to go with Rome.
Are you making fun of yourself now? Like,
yes,
are you?
Of course.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
Self-deprecating. You know this.
Yeah. We're there.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for your question, Jen, joining us on YouTube. Blaine is also joining us on YouTube. Amari or Deontay, full point PPR.
Close, Blaine. I'm going Deontay, though.
I go Deontay.
Yeah.
I go Deontay. That Browns offense is, I cannot stress enough how bad it is. Like, the environment is just bad. It's bad to trust anything because the O-line and Deshaun Watson and I mean, you got to play Amari if you have to, right? But if you have Deontay Johnson, I would rather go there. Andre Vaughn, thank you very much for joining us. Happy Sunday to you. Also, DK or Ayuk. I know that he's going to say DK. He likes DK in this matchup.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. And then Debo or McLaurin.
I'm going to go Debo. I have Debo ranked higher, and you are the best, Andre. We appreciate you. Lindsay doesn't agree with me. She's going McLaurin.
No, I might go McLaurin there. I mean, how are they going to hit 50? Like, where's this matchup? How's it going to get there? Everyone's so excited about Jaden Daniels and all the different assets in this matchup and the back and forth and all of that stuff. Like, that has to involve Terry McLaurin. If it doesn't, it's not going to get there. So, like, do you think it's going to get there, or do you not think it's going to get there? Do you think the Commanders are going to come out and fall on their face? If Terry McLaurin has to be involved if this is going to be the thing that everybody is thinking it's going to be for other purposes. I don't know. J.K. Dobbins. Hi, Nicole. Thank you very much for joining us. J.K. Dobbins, Jamison Williams, I'm assuming. Or it could be Javonte. I'm going to go Jameis. I don't know. I don't know which one it is. We'll give you answers to both. Or Alec Pierce.
And Andre, go with Lindsay and go with McLaurin.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nicole, what's up, my friend? So this is standard. So you're looking for touchdowns. If it's Javonte Williams, no thank you. If it's Jamison, I mean, that could be a higher scoring game. Alec Pierce, the Colts offense scares me right now. He needs like a big play in order to really help you from a fantasy perspective. I'm probably going JK, just because I'm hopeful that he'll get some goal line work. He got most of the snaps and most of the touches out of the backfield, and they got to run the ball, man. They got to keep the Chiefs offense off the field, and they have to run the ball. The problem is their offensive line is a mess right now. Yeah. So you don't have a great option. But if I had to go with one of them, it would be JK. If it's Javonte, if it's Jamison Williams, I may want to go Jamison Williams.
There you go. That's good analysis. Yeah. We'll just answer all the Jay Williams in the entire league. I'm worried about the script for the Chargers. I just don't see a path to them competing, which of course is that's code for they're going to win this game. Badass Warthog. Thank you so much for joining us via YouTube. Debo or Shakir?
I love Shakir. I'm going Debo. Listen, Debo Samuel is they're not going to bring him back if he's not 100%. He's already missed some time. He's a big part of the offense. Without McCaffrey, maybe he'll get some carries as well. The Patriots are no great shakes. So and remember, the Niners just came off of getting whooped. So right? I mean, who beat them last week, Lindsay? Who beat them? Go ahead. I know you love your Sam Darnold. And then the Rams whipped them. So not whip them, but the Niners are due.
2 weeks ago.
Right. That's what I said. Darnold beat them 2 weeks ago, and they lost to the Rams last week. They're due.
Got it. Okay.
So so Debo to me, I think the Niners offense smashes today.
Here's the thing. I'm going to ask a follow-up on both of them. So Debo, or I can't even remember if that was Khalil. Debo,
Yes.
you were not a fan of coming into the season. Now, does that, because he hasn't consistently hit really on a high end
He's
from
been,
a fantasy, CMC being out, you think changes
yes.
all of that
Yeah.
analysis, and we need to just look at it differently?
Debo's best fantasy season came when he was utilized as a runner and he had 8 rushing touchdowns. And without McCaffrey, right, he's got opportunities to run the ball, maybe 3, 4, 5 times a game. And so, and also too, like, let's not forget, before he got hurt, he was the guy. Ayuk had done nothing. Ayuk has done nothing. Debo was the guy for Purdy. And then when Debo is out, Jennings was the guy for Purdy.
Okay. Khalil Shakir, you've said several times you like him very much. And we also like the spot. A lot of people are really in on Josh Allen in this game that you figure is going to be kind of back and forth right against the Ravens. Where do you have Khalil Shakir ranked? Just so people who have questions about him in either ors kind of have a rough idea of where to slot him.
Right now I have Khalil Shakir at 30 at wide receiver, which is
who are some other names around it? Paint a picture.
Christian Kirk, Jameson Williams, Greg Dortch, Michael Pittman Jr., like in that area.
Okay. Michael Pittman Jr., that's where he is. He's with Greg Dortch.
He's 34 this week. Yeah. I hope he bounces back.
Okay. Bri?
How about
Mr. or Ms. Galaxy?
Bri?
Do I bench Stevenson and start Zach Moss? The answer is yes, right? Is it yes? It's yes for me.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. The thing that scares me about Stevenson is game script. Yeah, so I'm going Zach Moss.
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. Thank you for being with us. We love the fact that so many of you guys are here, and let's get these lineups right. And just a quick reminder, while you're all here, you watch the you can't watch. You can, I guess, somehow, clips, but you can listen to the Fantasy Dirt podcast 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We're here just taking you through the flow of the fantasy week, wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to download, subscribe.
And you can hear me sing.
Review. That's true. He sings twice a week.
That's right.
Or if you want to sing a walk-up song for Jen Piacenti for her prop segments on Wednesdays and Fridays, you can also sing and send us
give me a day off.
Yeah, there you go. All right. We've got Olave or Jameson Williams.
Olave.
Yeah. Same. Thank you very much. I like it when it's like nice and clean. It's not a bad question. Just because it's clean doesn't mean that it's like super obvious, and you should have figured that out, by the way. How about Laporta or Ertz? This one's Laporta for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, Adam Schefter is saying that Laporta's a go. He was able to practice towards the end of the week, so he's good to go tomorrow night, barring any kind of pregame setbacks. Laporta's the call. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing because I hopped in the comments, and normally I don't open the comments because I want Doug to do his job and I want to focus on you in the chat. But I did open the comments, and I see Austin asking Josh Allen or Sam Darnold, and I'm just laughing. I'm giggling because that's where we are in our life. The answer is Josh Allen. I'm the biggest Sam Darnold. Like, I know. I'm the president of the club, but you got to go Josh Allen. But
come on, man.
I love it. Black Rain 7920 PPR flex. I don't know why I read your name like that. Jacoby Myers or Zach Moss. Zach.
Yeah, it's Zach again, but I like Jacoby Myers. He's another one of those players, like a Dortch or a Wilson, or if you need help, or a JSN or a Khalil Shakir, if you need help at wide receiver, you can plug him in. Again, I'm really high on Zach Moss today because of the matchup.
Yeah. I feel like Jacoby is the type of guy that could have a big game, or
or not.
I'm looking in the chat again. You guys are asking a lot of Sam Darnold questions, and it's like warming my heart.
Oh my God.
No, he could, but he's also not an obvious, like, guaranteed. Sometimes if you take away that number 1 wide receiver, the number 2 is really obvious and they're going to get a ton of targets. I just don't know that that's his role in this offense. And so I'm not sure what it looks like outside of Brock Bowers getting a boost at tight end. And that's a position where we're looking for every available edge. So Ronnie Herrera, half-point PPR, 0-3. We're going to turn that around here. Okay. You've got some good pieces. DK, Garrett, Terry Mack. Those are, you've got them in as your wide receivers. That's not the question. Okay, so the question is Shakir and Ridley on the bench. Would you sit Garrett for either Shakir or Ridley? Okay, that's actually a good question because I think Garrett is more sittable this week than he normally is.
I still wouldn't. I consider that getting too cute, and one of them might outscore Garrett Wilson. honestly, but I'm not getting cute with that. I'm going to stick with Garrett Wilson and hope that he and Rodgers can get together. You know, I know Surtain's probably going to shadow him, but hey, if the kid wants to be elite, he's going to have to go out there and compete against these elite cornerbacks. And I'm still going Garrett Wilson. Let's put it this way: if you feel like your opponent is going to boat race you because your team is just not nearly as good, and you're looking for a higher upside type of play, like, I mean, maybe you go Shakir, but I don't even know if that's that much of a higher upside play. I got to stick with Garrett Wilson.
All right. I have a question from outside the chat. It's from Matt driving home from Las Vegas to Marcus Robinson or Lad McConkey, Fabs, for my husband.
What was he doing in Vegas, and why wasn't I invited? Matt, yeah, you know, I love me some Lad. I'm just afraid of that offense, man. I'd probably go DeMarcus Robinson.
All right, I'll let him know. Getting back to the live stream and the people who actually.
Well, my real advice is, Matt, listen to your wife.
Okay. Wait, you said Robinson, right? I kind of was listening.
Okay.
Shady Grady. I have a two-part question. Should I start the Niners or Texans defense, full point PPR? Okay, let's start there. Answer that one first.
Niners. Both good plays though, but Niners.
Hold on. I just need to wrap my brain
Niners
around this.
Niners are playing the Patriots in San Francisco. Okay. By the way, do you know the people in Northern California, if you call it San Fran, they don't like it. I don't know why. It's like a bad word. So yeah, I'm going with the Niners.
I like that you finished it with Cisco. Then you kind of caught yourself going in that direction and decided not to.
Yes.
Texans versus Jags, though.
No, it's a good matchup, and they're both home. But I think the Patriots' offense is way worse than Jacksonville's.
Okay. Ooh, I don't. Okay. The other question here is two flex spots: Carson Steele, Alan Lazard, Yoshibash, Braylon Allen, or Keenan Allen. Dude, you've got Keenan Allen in this conversation. Yeah.
I feel like he's in a porno. Carson Steele.
You're not wrong. The name is
porno. It is. It's a total porno name. So I'll go with the porn man, who, by the way, owns a pet alligator. Why the hell would you own a pet alligator and have? Oh, it's a wild animal. All that alligator's got to do is have one bad game and your arm is gone. One bad day, that gator gets pissed and he's going to start eating on your fingers. Carson Steele and Keenan Allen for me.
You're going Carson Steele
against the Chargers? Yes. Here's the thing. The Chiefs are going to be ahead in that game, and they're going to run the ball in the second half. Who else you got? The only other guy is Lazard. I'll go. Okay, go with Lindsay.
I can't go.
Green.
I can't go with the.
Go ahead and go with Lazard.
I mean, you're adding Kareem Hunt to that. It's even muddier than it was last week. He looked good. Didn't get there in fantasy. I think that's likely to continue. I just don't think you're going to look at 20. Okay, thanks very much, Matthew Bubar. Yay! Remember Matthew Bubar from NFL Network? He was one of the research guys, and also worked with me on DirecTV's Fantasy Zone channel. Love Bubar, and sad that I don't get to spend my Sundays with you anymore. But this is let's see. Let's get your lineups right. Fields or Love?
Do you know how much offense I just took at that statement? Because if she was spending time with you, Matt, it wouldn't be. How dare you, Lindsay Rhodes?
I miss my Fantasy Zone family. That was a fun way to spend 7.5 hours of football.
I'm still hurt.
But I also happy I'm with you. Do you need that? Yeah. Is that what you need?
Yeah, I do. I need it. Yes, I need the validation. Okay. I'm a very lonely person. I'm going with Jordan Love.
Did you see the 6 points passing touchdown, 12 points for quarterback rushing touchdowns? 12
points for QB rushing touchdowns?
Who did this scoring? I need to hear more about this. 12?
Yeah, you know what? In that case, I got to go Fields. I didn't even see that. Thanks for pointing. 12 points for a rushing touchdown. Yeah. All right, Matt. Yeah.
What is happening? Yeah.
Scores one touchdown. That's 2 touchdown passes. Yeah. You got to go with them.
Totally. And by the way, did you hear them saying that Malik Willis might still get on the field? Are they going to have packages for Malik Willis? I'm curious to see what that means, or if he's not 100%, so they're kind of going to do some sort of split. And please don't let it be a Matt Rule split.
Yeah.
My favorite coaching thing that's ever happened, she says sarcastically, was Matt Rule switching quarterbacks within one drive. Like, we're rotating them within the drive. Like, anyway, P. Dilly, don't have to deal with that anymore. Najee or Deontay Johnson in the flex. This one's interesting. Half point PPR. That's important to note here. It's not full point.
Like both going Najee. Yeah. I mean, no Jalen Warren, and the Colts are bad against the run.
I know. And so the thing about Najee though is he's getting a lot of volume. I like Najee. The matchup is very good, but he is not getting it done this year. Like, we're not yet hitting any kind of high totals. And that,
I think I like Najee's floor better. I like Deontay's ceiling a little bit better, but I'd still be going with I'd be going with Najee here. I could get him 14, 15 points out of Najee today. Okay. And remember, he's a good pass catcher too. And with Jalen Warren out, maybe he gets a few more opportunities in that area.
If this were full point, I think I'd go Deontay. The fact that it's half point maybe kind of brings it a little bit closer to Najee. Nicole again, who clarified that it was Jamison Williams, by the way.
Okay.
Keeping an eye on the chat in that way. Can I trust Komet with Allen being back today? I would say no. And your other option is Andrews, who hasn't been productive, but I would still go Andrews.
I go Andrews. Komet. Yeah. If Keenan Allen wasn't playing, it would be a different thing.
Oh, hey, we got another Andrews or Komet. Look at this. So we already answered that one. I think the thing is, you guys, the thing about Andrews, I mean, at a certain point now we're going to start freaking out, right? Like his
I've already
route participation, like, we're in that range, but like also it could just be like, hey, here's a game week where we plan for this. Like, I think that that's the way that offense is going to work, where they're just going to come up with different strategic approaches to various matchups. And I think we're going to see in Andrew's game. I don't think he's done. And Komet, I don't like his involvement at all with three wide receivers. With those three guys there, I just don't see how he gets enough to help us out. Richardson or Fields is his other question. And I would go Fields. I just think Richardson is, and Fabs, want to get your opinion. I think Richardson is, the range of outcomes is too wide. Like, he can absolutely put up a 30 point, but so can Fields. He's more likely to maybe not hit 30, maybe like 20, but I just feel like Fields' floor is a lot higher than Richardson at this point. So I can't believe that I'm saying that now based on where we started this season and our expectations, but I think Fields is safer. Chalupa why, Lindsay? Got Brees Hall. That's why I can't start Achane and Robinson Jr. Okay, good. So we touched on that. Just a little me. We've got Judy or Olave. Worried Olave might be on a snap count. I think that that's a fair concern. I really do, but I think you got to play him over Judy.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything like that. Since we've been on the live stream, so I'm still sticking with Olave.
Yeah, some of these people who are hurt though, like, or dealing with injuries all week, and then they're going. You're like for instance, Justin Herbert, who we all kind of know, like, don't take that seriously. Like, why is he playing with a high ankle sprain with a banged up offensive line in a game that they're going to have a hard time winning anyway? Like, why are they doing that? So like, but we know, I mean, last week they played him with three quarterbacks active so that they could pull him. Like, I think that, obviously there's some examples of people that are banged up that, might leave early or, might be on a snap count. And so I think it's a good question to inquire about people who have been on the injury report all week. Reed, Pickens, or Ayuk. We need 2 out of the 3. Thank you very much for the question, David.
Hey, David. To me, Ayuk sits. I love Jaden Reed. I love him. And now that Love is back, I want him in my lineup. And Pickens against the Colts, who gave up 24 to Adunze last week. They've been bad against wide receivers. So Pickens and Reed for me.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the Niners offense is just so tough. I am convinced that Ayuk is going to, it's going to click one of these weeks soon, if not this week. But I think you're concerned about the back and forth about the shorts. Well, we probably made too much out of the shorts. There's something there. Like, why aren't you on the same page with everybody there? Like, what is this dynamic? What's going on? Baker or Love is Paul's question.
Love's back. I like Baker. I don't like him more than I like Jordan Love. I'm going Jordan Love.
I like the Vikings defense. I'm just going to say that. I think that the Vikings defense is very, very good. And I think that this will be a good game, but I just think that we might not have caught up we collectively to, I think, how good the Vikings defense is. And so like what we saw from CJ Stroud last week, I think you got to factor that in as a possibility for Jordan Love this week, especially coming off an injury. So I don't know if I feel confidently about Jordan Love in that answer, but they're both, I think they're kind of in the same tier in terms of options. Paul Vieira, half point PPR needs 2 of these 3, McLaurin, Flowers, or Jamison Williams.
JMO sits out of that trio.
I agree. If you've got 2 guys who are more likely to be first reads in their offense, I think you got to go with that as long as they're in good offenses. And yeah. So flick it cards, Madison, Sutton, or Pittman in the flex.
Yeah, this one's painful. I will tell you, I don't love any one of these 3 players. I'm going to go Pittman Jr. and cross my fingers. Sutton, Sutton's going to get sauced. So I don't love that. Madison's a backup, and I know he's been better than Zamir, but I'm gonna go with Pittman. I'm going with Pittman and hope.
They're averaging like 51 yards a game on the ground or something like that. The Raiders are so bad in terms of their run game. So I think this is maybe the one situation where I would go Pittman too. Oh, Pittman. All right, let's see what else we got. I'll try and squeeze in a few more here. Richard, Standard League, J.K. Dobbins or Pollard?
Pollard.
Okay, explain that one. Better. Explain that one more.
Just better matchup, and against Miami. I also like having a guy going on a Monday night. J.K. only had 8.4 points last week. Chiefs defense is tough against running backs, and the potential for a negative game script could hurt Dobbins in the second half.
Okay. Thank you very much for expounding upon that answer there. Next question. Trey Weeks. I've played 2 of these. DK Olave or Rashee Rice. I know where I'm going. I'm going DK and Rashee Rice. Am I right?
You are correct, my friend.
But I'm
ding, 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 ding.
I like this game for Rashee Rice. I'm kind of low-key hoping that this is in fact, I'm betting on it to a degree with my one and done lineup that this might be a bounce back. Travis Kelce.
You know what? I got to be honest. Rashee Rice is knocking on elite door. He is knocking on that door. I'd rather 100%. Have him than Tyreek Hill right now. I can tell you that.
And also that matchup, they give up a lot of underneath passes. I mean, Rashee Rice could eat today. Yep. I think he could be like a top 5 wide receiver by the end of the week. Pittman or Judy?
Pittman again, and not real thrilled about it. But again, I mean, just the Browns. I and it's not like Judy's lighting the world on fire either. I know Pittman's not either. Just talent wise, I got to go Pittman.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, Anthony Richardson has to complete some of those balls to Pittman. He just has to, or else I think that it's likely we start talking about Flacco. I've said that already.
You've already been talking about Flacco.
I know. Well, like we meaning more people not named me start talking about Flacco. Yeah. Maybe see Flacco. That's just something it's on my radar here. You gotta be able to complete those easy throws. You have to be, or else you lose the locker room. Nobody feels like they can do their job. Now we're in a bigger problem for a franchise than just the quarterback isn't developing as quickly as we want him to. Dobbins or Ford?
Yeah, I got to go Ford. Matchup is much better. The Raiders got smoked by Chuba last week. And again, I'm worried about a negative game script for Dobbins.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about how bad that offense is there for Ford and that team, but for some reason, I also am feeling Ford in this one.
Okay.
Steele or Roshan? Oh God, I would go Steele in that scenario. I'd go Steele.
Okay. I'm going to go Steele, but Roshan Johnson may end up being one of the big waiver wire picks for week 5 because the reports out of Chicago is that DeAndre Swift may be getting phased out of his, featured role, which he's not featured anymore. So Roshan Johnson is definitely someone who should be on rosters. I don't know if I want to play him over Steele though, but you know what? I'm going to go Roshan over Steele. Okay. I'm going Roshan. Screw it.
You're betting that he's the guy now.
Yes.
Okay. Because for me, it was pick him up on waivers because it's going to happen at some point. I just don't know if it's going to happen this week. We haven't seen him have that type of volume, and the offense has been bad. Is he going to be a lot better behind that offensive line?
Roshan got some burn last week, though. He got some burn.
I know, but I know, but okay. Aaron Jones or risk starting Debo?
I'm going Aaron Jones.
Okay.
I'm going Aaron Jones. Revenge game back in Green Bay. I think he's been very good. He's been better than I thought. So
yeah, he's been so good. They've been good. Yay, Vikings! I'm like a Vikings fan this year. That's something that I am comfortable announcing to you now. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Such a homer. It's like this, just
Homer.
Oh, who's their quarterback? Oh, Sam Darnold. He went to USC. Where did Lindsay Rhodes go? USC. Homer.
You don't hear me like, oh, Michael Pittman. Where did he go to school? I'm telling everyone to bench him, except when they have to play him.
He stinks right now.
So I'm not a homer. I'm making like sound football analysis, Joker. Okay, Blake, would you trade Kincaid for Laporta and Will Levis? Non-PPR, 2 quarterback, redraft, keeper league. There's so many components to the...
I'd rather have Laporta.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, like if you said Kincaid for Laporta, I'd just rather have Laporta.
Yeah, why is somebody giving you extra for...
Well, I got news for you. Will Levis may not be the quarterback in Tennessee very much longer. You might see Mason Rudolph today or tomormow. I mean, like who knows?
But it's a 2 quarterback league. So you're getting an extra body that you can play there. I don't understand. I don't even understand Kincaid for Laporta straight up.
He's jacked. He's in his thing. He's jacked. That's a strong trade for you, Blake. Get Laporta, baby. I don't look as good. Like
yes. You would win that trade.
My shoulder hurts too if I do that.
By a lot. Okay, I'm so confused, but I'm going to move on. Okay, what's the next one here? Let's try and get a couple more. Let's go rapid fire, and then I got to go set my... Actually, I already set my lineups. You know what I need to do still, Fabs? I need to figure out my touchdown survivor.
I already did mine, but I'm not going to tell you who it is.
So if any of you guys, you dirtbags that are here in the chat that joined our touchdown survivor league and you haven't set your lineups for this week, this is your reminder to do that. Jonathan Bowman wants to know Quentin Johnston or Christian Kirk for the flex.
Kirk.
I'm going Kirk too. Yeah, we saw a resurgence from Kirk last week, and I think that they kind of need Kirk to come up big. Jacob says we skipped over his question. I don't know where it is. I'm so sorry, Jacob. Trey Weeks. I have to play 2 DK Olave or Rashee Rice. This is DK and Rashee. We already hit that one. Let's see if we can find Jacobs. If we scroll up a little bit more.
Oh no, we got you. Yeah, no, Aaron Jones. Yeah, over Debo.
That's a different
Jacob. Got you, Jacob.
It's a different Jacob. It's a different Jacob.
Oh,
anyway.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
There we go. Okay. Jacobs, Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, Garrett Wilson, or Goddard.
Wait. Full PPR. How many?
Just rank them in order. Rank them in order.
These are all your flex players? Holy crap. That's pretty damn good. Full PPR, it's probably Najee Harris, then Garrett Wilson, then Jacobs, then Goddard. I know Goddard's last, but he's a tight end. I know that I will say this. The target should be there, but the defensive attention is also going to be there for the Buccaneers on stopping Goddard. I think they are okay with letting Paris Campbell beat them. So that's the way that I would go.
All right. Okay. Okay, Jacoby Myers, he's got a Rolando has this. Yeah. Okay. What's BTJ? Why am I BT? What's BTJ?
Brian Thomas Jr.
There you go. Okay.
Jacoby Myers is the answer.
Okay. Jacoby Myers. Debo, Juwan Jennings, or Terry McLaurin? I'm pulling Ellis's question out of the chat real quick.
What was it again? I'm sorry.
Debo, Juwan Jennings, or Terry McLaurin? It's not Juwan Jennings. We think he goes back to the bench now that everybody else is active.
Well, you like McLaurin over Debo, so I'm going to let you take that. We'll go McLaurin.
Oh God, it's all me. Everyone now can come yell at me. That's
she
fine.
Needs McLaurin to have a big game. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, guys, we really, really appreciate you guys joining us. Try to get as many of these questions answered as we possibly can. Join us again next week, 12 Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific. We'll be here for at least 45 minutes. Today, we're at 49 already. So go set your lineups here. If you have any other questions, maybe hit us up on Twitter and we'll try and answer as many as we can in the few minutes ahead. And I'm going to go set my touchdown lineup. A quick reminder, Fantasy Dirt podcast, 5 days a week. You can download it wherever you get your podcasts, hit subscribe, leave a review, help us out, and then join us again next week. Thank you very much, Rachel. You're awesome also. Thanks so much, you guys, for joining us. Enjoy the games.
Thanks all.